How's it going? It's Todd from Trenchless Supply. In today's video, we're going to be going over the Explorer Compact Inspection Camera. Now, this is an in-house product that was designed to be very convenient for plumbers and pipelining pros to be able to sling over your shoulder and take it with you up on rooftops, in and out of bathrooms and tight spaces. And as you'll see when we unbox this, that it's a modular system with a ton of upgradability. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, what we're going to be unboxing today here is going to be the standard kit. So if you take a look over here on the side, it's actually going to come with a 6mm cable reel as well as the 20mm camera head. But you do have options for things like a more flexible reel if you want to go down to 5.2mm all the way up to 7mm. And there are various different camera heads that we'll go over later in the video that are also compatible with this camera system. So what's great about this system is you're not buying one camera and then having to replace it for different needs. You can really kind of add and attach to this to kind of grow for your particular use case. Now, getting right into the box, right at the top here, there's going to be a couple things stashed that you want to take a look at. So we're going to have our test cable here, as well as if we take a look, we'll have the power supply. The padded shoulder strap should be in here. So this is going to be what you sling over your shoulder to keep it nice and comfortable while you're running up and down those rooftops. We got our remote control, and then one more box should be packed into the top here. If you take a look, this is going to be our 20mm camera head, again, that is included. So we can take a look here, and so there's that. We're going to set all this off to the side because it's probably going to take a little bit to get all the rest of this out. Now, hopefully, if you're unboxing this at home, you have a little bit more desk space than I do at the moment, but there's just some styrofoam pieces here just to get out of the way, and then your camera system will be freed. So here it is. There's a little handle at the top. Let's just get all this moved out of the way. A little bit of foam to keep everything safe. And again, this is modular, so you can take these pieces apart. Slide that back down in there. Actually, before I do so, I should point out that we do have a removable battery here as well. So, you can get extras of these if you need, but the battery life on this is incredible. Now, while I have this free, I want to go over a couple things really quickly, just so that way I can showcase it. Now, here we have at the top our power switch, and we have a couple of USB ports hidden under these little flaps here. And they are designed to be used for a keyboard if you want to take notation, as well as a USB thumb drive if you want to save your video files. And then it just slides right on here. So again, everything's really modular, which is really helpful. That way you're not having to replace an entire system. If you need, you can just kind of put things together one piece at a time. Now, at this point would probably be as good a time as any to get your padded shoulder strap attached to the device, which is obviously super simple. You just have these little clipping hangers that you clip up here to the top. As you can see, you have two little hook rings, and you just kind of fix it right in on there. So you do one side here and the other one over here, and now you can see how easy it is just to kind of sling this over your shoulder and to take it with you. Now, with that attached, we should probably open this up so that way we can attach the camera that we saw earlier that was included in the box, and then we can actually showcase this thing working in all of its glory. So you just have these two little clips here at the top, and then as you can see in here, you got your reel, which these are super simple to swap out. You just have this little locking nut. You disconnect over here from the cable, pull it up and out, and then you just slap in another reel, which is super easy, and you can do this pretty much right on the fly. It's a super simple and human design, just like your old school CD player. You just kind of pop it out, change out your reel, or in the case of back then, your CD, and you're ready to go. Over here, you'll notice that we have a couple of camera skids included as well, which will be nice to help hold the position of your camera as you're going through those pipes, kind of keep you centered and out of the water. And over here on the side here, got to kind of fold this up just to showcase it a little easier to the camera, but this is where you will pop this out and attach your camera head, and we'll do that now. So now with that undone, we just have one more step. You need to take off this little protector cap. This is just protecting the inner pins for connecting the camera, and then we'll go over here, and as you can see, we have the camera that was included in the box, and we'll slap that on right now. Now, once you get your camera free from the little bag, it's going to be the same situation over here. You're just going to want to undo one of these little protector caps and connect it like so. Super simple stuff, guys. And now with the camera head attached, we can flip this thing over and really get into showing you how to use this thing. It's super amazing. Now over here on the left-hand side, you'll notice there's a little knob here. This is for allowing you to add or release tension on your reel. So if you want to feed a little bit slower or if you want to be able to speed it up, this is just going to give you a little bit more fine-tuned precision with that. You can open it up when you're reeling back so that way you can get it back in nice and quick, or you can tighten it down when you really want to be able to crawl this thing nice and slow. And now we'll get it fired up and you guys can actually get to see kind of what it's like to use this thing. It's really amazing. So you're going to hold down the power button. It's going to go red. You're going to hear it kick on. Then you can let go. And then if you flip down here, you can see the nice compact control panel. I'll probably have to adjust the lighting on the camera just so you can get a nice crisp image out of just the screen itself while we're going over that. Now things are looking a little dark in the studio. That's totally intentional. What I'm trying to do is properly expose so that way you guys can see this screen in all its glory. Now one thing I love is, as you can see, it updates, super fast refresh rate, really, really crisp image. Now one thing to note with the standard kit, this 20mm camera, the lighting controls are going to be different for this one specifically just based on the way that it's wired with this reel. So if you look on the right side, it might be a little hard to see, but you can actually turn a little knob here, and this is going to allow you to turn up and down your brightness right on this knob here. Super simple stuff there. But if you have any of the other camera models, you're going to see two light bulbs here. One is kind of got arrows showing that it's illuminating. These are going to be your brightness controls for all the other camera models. Now on here you have all your video and picture playback stuff that's pretty standard. You know, you got your picture here, you can start and stop video, and then if you hit the home button here, you'll be able to get into all your different system settings. So there's actually a lot of things you can play with in here. You got video playback, picture playback, and then your normal system settings, image settings, and recording settings that you can go in here and you can kind of adjust different things based on whatever your needs are, which I think is super awesome. And to go back, you just hit this little exit key, and then you're back into the camera mode. Now that we've gone over a basic overview of the camera system, I kind of want to dive in a little bit more into its strengths and just kind of show you how to use it, how to change out a camera and a reel, and just show you how really simple it is, because I think the strength of this actual system is the compact record player style opening for changing out reels. So the first step is going to be to unscrew your camera head from the side here. Make sure you put it somewhere nice and safe off to the side. And now that you have this, all you got to do is pop this open, move your shoulder strap to the side. These two little latches here come undone, and then once you have them undone and you're back into the reel, it is super easy to actually change out the reel itself. So you have this connector here that you're going to want to undo. So you just undo the collar here, pull back, now it's unplugged, and then you have this little holding nut that just comes undone with your hand. Now you're going to want to fish this through here, so what I recommend doing is kind of just holding it steady as you pick this up, so that way it goes through nice and smooth. And then off to the side here, you will have this holding mechanism that basically holds the end of the reel in. You just pull that back with your hand and you're done. That easy, super simple. And to change it out is basically doing the same thing in reverse. So now we're going to showcase one of the strongest factors about this camera system is that you can upgrade as your needs change. So we're going to showcase putting on the 7mm reel as well as the pan and tilt camera head here. And that's one of the beautiful things. As you need more, you can keep upgrading the system without having to replace it. All right, and to put the reel on, like I mentioned before, you're going to want to fish this cable through. Now there is this little latch for attaching the reel. It can be a little tricky to show on camera, but basically you're going to want to get this all lined up and get this down there by sliding that back with your finger and dropping it in like so. Now that that's in there, your priority now is to kind of line up those grooves like I showed before. So now it fits through nice and snug, and then just connect this connector here. If you want to look on the actual cable, there's a little arrow that gives you kind of an indication on where the top is. So you can slide that in, and once you got that on there all nice, you can then lock down the collar. So you got that plugged in, and then you're just going to tighten this collar down so it's on there all nice and good. You can even put some tension on this if you want to hold it steady while you tighten it down. And then you're done. You've changed the reel. It's that simple. And now that we've swapped over to the 7mm reel, we can just close this back up over here and start attaching the pan and tilt camera. And you'll notice here that there is kind of a different shape pinout for this one compared to the 20mm that comes with the kit standard. So you're just going to want to make sure that you slot those connectors so that they go in all nice and smooth. And once they're connected, then you just tighten down the locking collar here off to the side. So you just kind of grab that, get that going, and then make sure that it's all nice and tight. And now we're ready to fire up the camera. So again, you're going to hold your power button. Once it turns red, hold it a couple seconds, let go, and then it should start firing right up. Now, as you can see, it's going to show our logo real quick. And then let me just turn down the brightness. You can see that the pan and tilt is already connected and working. And as I mentioned before, for all the other cameras other than the standard 20mm, you're going to be pushing these buttons here to turn up your LED for your brightness. So you got your up and your down right here on the control board. Now, as for controlling the pan and tilt camera, it's super simple. You have your arrow keys right here on the control panel, and you basically just go left for left, right for right, and then your up and down are going to give you your different tilt control. So it's very easy to use. So that was a basic unboxing and product overview of our camera system here. I'm going to go back over some of the features again that I maybe glossed over, or just kind of explain everything as a whole. So it's a totally modular system, as you may have saw. You can take everything off, so that way if you damage the screen or you need to change individual components, you're not replacing the entire camera system, which is amazing, as well as the fact that it's entirely upgradable. You can change the cameras without any sort of soldering. They're just quick disconnects. Same goes for the reels. You have the ability to, of course, store your videos on a USB file. You can record with commentary. I didn't mention before, but there's actually a built-in microphone. So while you're recording videos, you can actually give yourself notation and kind of just speak out loud your thoughts, so that way you can listen back on that, as well as the fact that it's just super portable, easy to take with you on the go. You have 8 hours built into the battery, but the batteries are interchangeable. So if you did need to pick up a couple extra, you could hot swap those on the fly as well. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you're watching this on socials, make sure you tell us your thoughts in the comments. If you're watching this somewhere else like the website, if you want to inquire more, make sure you take a look and just let us know.